Hi, this is Steve Tucker from Morbid Angel, and you're listening to Sonic Perspectives.
Hi everyone, Rodrigo here from Sonic Perspectives. I'm here on the phone with Mr. Steve Tucker, singer and bass player of Morbid Angel. Steve, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. I hope it's going great for you as well.
Yeah, it's good. So let me start by thanking you for finding the time for us to talk tonight. I know you're busy with the last rehearsal for the upcoming tour, so I appreciate that you found time in your agenda for the interview.
Yeah, man, no problem. Well, like I said, we're getting ready to go out, and we've got 2 days, and yeah, man, we're busting ass.
It starts next Monday, right?
Yeah, the first show is Monday in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And as of now, it'll be only a month, but the idea is to add more dates as you go along, or just for the 1 month?
Oh, no, we're out for, it's around 5 weeks, I think, that we're out, and then that's it for this run, at least. That'll be it.
Okay, and for those of us who are not in the music business, what are the steps to prepare for a tour like this? Do you first do the band rehearsing alone, and then maybe you do a trial run with the light effects, etc.? How does that work?
A lot of it's done at home. I mean, before we, start getting together nightly, everyone sort of does their homework, works on the songs at home. And then we get together and we rehearse, as much as we can, and then until we feel like we're ready to go. And then, we start the show. I mean, first of all, the first thing has to happen is, we have to musically be tight, before I can start singing. Once the music's right where it needs to be, and then I start singing, and then by that time we're usually ready to go, man. At this point, we've done this so many times, we kind of had to schedule down,
Yeah, it should be second nature for you guys now, I guess.
Yeah, without a doubt it is.
Yeah, do you have like a pre-show ritual? Because you seem like a down-to-earth kind of guy when I'm talking to you, but on stage you have such a ominous presence.
I do. I mean, one thing that I always like to do before we play, man, is I always like to shake everybody's hand, man, and everybody in the band. I always like, to go to each person and just, I don't know, have a minute to get, a private time and shake hands and wish each other luck and tell each other to kick ass, man, And then I guess it's about at that point when, the adrenaline starts to pump and sort of that other person comes out, and myself, and I think everyone in the band,
Yeah, cool. And you toured, of course, to promote the new album, Kingdoms Disdained, which was released last December. And how's the reception of the album going so far?
Man, it's been unbelievably well. I mean, a lot of people seems to be exactly, what they were hoping to receive out of the new album. I think, it's a very heavy album, and I think most Morbid Angel fans, that's what they hope for with the Morbid Angel album, So really, honestly, it's been phenomenal, man. I mean, I've done so many interviews that I've lost count a long time ago, and honestly, it's just been overwhelmingly, good response.
It marks a new beginning for the band, sort of, with the new lineup, a new drummer, a new guitar player. How were these two guys selected, and what were their contributions to the new album?
Really, honestly, it was just about going through all of the applicants, if you will. I mean, there's a lot of drummers that were interested, a lot of guitar players that were interested, and really, in the end, what you want is to find the people that just fit in, the right puzzle piece, if you will. And I think both Dan and sorry about that. I think both of these guys, Dan and Scotty, have both done an incredible job, man. I mean, the band's as tight as it's ever been now. I mean, I'm comfortable every night on stage, and I couldn't ask for more,
Yeah, I know that Scott, for example, he contributes to a bunch of songs, but Dan only was involved towards the end of the recording sessions, right?
Yeah, but not really, man. I mean, Dan was really involved even during the writing process. I mean, he was hearing the songs and, giving his opinion on things as well. So, I mean, yeah, me and Scotty actually wrote some songs together. But like everyone contributed, man. I mean, it's Morbid Angel, it's a band. I mean, Trey is the leader of Morbid Angel, but, everybody has to do their part or else it all falls apart, man.
Yeah, sure. And during the recording and composition for the album, did you feel there was a conscious effort to change the direction and bring it back that classical sound of Morbid Angel, or was it just the way it turned out at the end?
Man, I just think it was the chemistry. More than anything, I just think it was the chemistry of Trey and I working together. I think that, he sort of had an idea of what I would add to the songs. And I think that maybe that's sort of was helpful and guiding. I mean, to be honest, I'm a big death metal fan, man. I've never made a secret of that. I don't shy away from it at all. I mean, I've always been a death metal fan since it started, and to be honest, that's what I want to play. You know what I mean? It's just where I'm comfortable. I love death metal, man. I love the power. I love the overall, the way it encompasses you when you hear it. It's just an amazing music, and I mean, that's what I always want to do. Anytime I'm going into the studio, I'm planning on making an album as heavy as I most possibly can.
Yeah, and one thing that people are talking about as well is that the album cover complements the sound of the album. It's like a god that seems to be unhappy with the world he created, right? So who had the idea for that cover and who designed it?
The concept, of the gods coming back to life is something that, we've touched on before. It's something that, we were touching on Formulas. We touched on it on Gateways and Heretic as well. So really, honestly, when we started talking to the artist, Ken, I mean, he is a Morbid Angel fan, so he knew exactly where we were coming from the very beginning of it. So to be honest with you, I think it was a little bit of a fulfillment of his dream to actually do the album cover, and I think he took it upon himself to make that demon be as much a part of Morbid Angel as the music is,
Yeah, it looks really ominous and really cool. That image, man, it doesn't get out of my head, to be honest with you. But
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you like it, because I have to tell you, I absolutely love it. I think it's my favorite album cover of any album I've ever been a part of, man. I just think it's absolutely brilliant, and Ken Coleman is an absolutely brilliant artist, man.
Yeah, and there will be a limited edition 12-inch picture disc of the album in honor of Record Store Day to be released very soon. Do you still collect albums by any chance? Because that seems like a good thing to collect, that particular cover.
Yeah, I have everything that we've done with this album, and we've done a box set, we've done a lenticular 3D CD, we've done a lot of different formats, and I'm collecting every one of them, man. I mean, honestly, it all looks beautiful. The label that we're on now, Silver Lining, man, they do not hold back at all. It's not just the album art. I mean, the album art can be beautiful, and if it's printed badly or on cheap paper, it's no good. But these guys, I mean, they're using the best of everything for the printing, and it's just everything they release is absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, I'm most definitely collecting every bit of it.
Yeah, and one thing that you guys are famous for is naming the albums alphabetically. We've reached the letter K now. Have you ever thought of what to do when you reach letter Z? For example, what are you going to do?
I have no idea. Honestly, it's really just about an album at a time, man. Hopefully we will get that far. Hopefully we'll make it, all the way to the end of the alphabet. But it's writing an album, man, it's for Morbid Angel. It's not something that happens every 2 years like a lot of bands. It's something that, it's really about when the creativity comes and the right songs happen, So, yeah, we'll see, man. But I don't know what that Z album will be called at this point.
Well, like you said, I hope you guys get all the way to letter Z. So let's see what comes down the line, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's talk about the lyrical content of the album. It seems that you moved away from the satanic themes and mythology and went political this time, right? What was the idea?
No, not at all. I don't really think that. I think a lot of people think that we kind of did, but I just think that it's really the climate of the world, the sort of what's going on that makes it seem as if that's what we're talking about. I don't think really the lyrics have really changed direction from what Morbid Angel has always been about in the very beginning. In the beginning, it was much more of a satanic thing, but it was about the ancient gods and the ancient ways and things like this, and it still is. It's just it's a continuation. You grow and you learn more and your ideas expand, and that's where we are. And I really think it's not an accident that, this album seems to fall right in line with the sort of temperament of what's going on in the world right now. I think that you can't help but be influenced by that. But anytime I'm writing lyrics, we're always looking at it from a perspective of much more than a human being. I mean, the way a god would see a situation, the way a god would handle a situation. I mean, it's really not about politics, so to speak. To me, man, honestly, politics are boring. I mean, it's like, do you want to believe this person's lies or that person's lies? And I mean, that's not what this is about. This is, these lyrics are about the truth. And usually no one in politics is fully telling you the truth, So to become political, that's not something I'm going to do. I would never tell anyone how they should vote or what they should believe or not believe. That's not at all what this is about. This is about the truth. This is about observing and putting it out there.
Yeah, thank you for that response, because it changed completely the way I'm looking at the lyrics right now. So
I mean, they do seem to go very well with the events that are going on in the world, though. But I think this has been building up for a number of years, for 20, 30 years now. This environment of, this hostility in the world has been building up and building up. And I mean, I think it's, it's sort of mythological has come to
reality.
Run face. Yeah, reality and mythology have now come sort of face to face, and they both seem to be quite off and not quite right. That's why we have a song like Paradigms Warp, because it's like it's about things being not quite right and you being able to feel it. So that's where I think we're at. I think the world's at a very strange point right now.
With the growling vocals, does it bother you that the lyrics may not be fully appreciated? And how do you take care of your voice during the tour?
Man, the thing about the lyrics is you have a lot of different people that listen to death metal. You have a lot of people that listen to death metal for drums. They the blast beats, the fast double bass, the fast rolls. That's really what excites them. And then you have other people. The greatest thing about Morbid Angel is Trey, the guitar. So that's what they're focused on. So for me, man, it's really about pleasing me. And usually it's about getting these things out of myself. Like these words are inside of me and sort of beating me up and assaulting me, and I have to get them out. It's really hard to explain the whole creative process of it, but definitely I would say because of the growling vocals, it's a lot less accessible to most people. But honestly, that's why I play death metal. I could never play pop. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in someone listening to something that absolutely just means nothing, but you can dance to it for a week until you're bored of it. That's not why I play music. I mean, I'm much more in love with the idea of writing music that is closer to classical symphonic music than I am to pop music.
Yeah, makes sense.
And as far as my voice goes, my voice is sort of my natural voice, man. If I start to get excited, my voice starts to go to that same sound of what you hear when I'm singing. I mean, it's in my voice. It's just a part of me. So literally, taking care of it. I mean, I honestly, I just try to stay healthy more than anything on tour, man. I try to just stay healthy. You meet so many people and they're all cool people. They all want to shake your hand and everything, but you have to remember to go wash your hands, because some of these people, they're sick or they were sick before and they're carrying germs. So on tour, the quickest way for me to have a bad day is for me to get a cold, So really, it's just about trying to stay healthy, eat good foods, and stay as healthy and clean as I possibly can.
Understood. And a bit on the personal side, I have this curiosity here. What did the kids in your family think of that voice that you do?
Man, I think they're just used to it, honestly. I mean, all these kids, and my nieces, nephews, my kids, all these kids have, they've been around me their entire life. They're used to my big, boisterous, loud laugh. They're I play with them with my voice sometimes, I'll, and they laugh. They think it's hilarious, man. I'm not, dude, look, I'm a musician, you know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not a inhuman being, man. When it comes to things like family and kids, I'm just like, I think, most people would be, man. I love them, it's my family, so I think that they just think it's I'm just a big, funny, goofy person. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm asking because I showed the new record to my daughter. She's 3 years old and she was a bit scared. So I said, let's stick with AC/DC for now, or Queen,
Sure. Sure. What's funny is, though, my dogs, man. I have dogs, and like as soon as I was rehearsing songs, for the past month or whatever, and when I'm rehearsing the songs, my dogs, man, like they hear my voice, and they know it's my voice, man. So like literally, they are on high alert when they hear a Morbid Angel song playing. My dogs are now on high alert, waiting for me to give them a command. It's actually pretty funny, but at the same time, I'm sort of proud of that fact,
Oh, that's awesome. Morbid Angel were an influence to the whole genre. Do you listen to new bands these days, and have you identified your influence anywhere in the new bands?
I've heard our influence in a lot of things, that are out there today. The funny thing is how different bands take different parts of Morbid Angel. Some take, the sort of the vibe of the fast things, and other people, they're sort of borrowing from the idea of songs like, say, Where the Slime Live or something, but I think that, it's definitely a nice pat on the back when you hear something and you can say, God damn, dude, that's just about my riff. You know what I mean? They've all but copied my riff, and but the great thing is when you hear these bands and they take that, and you can hear a little bit of that edge there, but they turn it into their own thing. That's what I really truly appreciate. I mean, that's what most music is. It's what my music was from the get-go. I mean, I loved all these bands, and so inside of me it's sort of a melting pot of all these different heavy metals, and what came out of me was death metal. So if myself or Morbid Angel as a whole, or just Trey or just Scotty or just Pete or whoever, influences someone and they borrow a little bit, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah, sure. After years in the music business, do you feel it's easier to work these days or more difficult?
Easier to work? Is that what you said?
Yeah, as in to carry things on, to book a tour or release new albums and record and so on.
Well, I mean, the music industry completely it's completely different than it was, 10 years ago. So, I mean, I consider myself an adaptive person. I've lived in different countries. I've lived in, I've moved to places where I've only been to them once or twice, and I always have an ability to adapt. And really, honestly, I think with the music industry, we've just really adapted. I think that it's not things aren't appreciated the way they used to be. But as far as is it more difficult? I think it's more difficult to get people to actually purchase CDs and things like that. But going out and playing shows, I think that this day and age, I think a lot of people are looking for that break from their monotonous life. So, the tour we did last year, I mean, we did fantastic. A lot of people came to every single show. And really, honestly, what I seen was, a little bit of escapism, people getting away from the bullshit that is the real world,
It's an amazing experience for sure to see you guys live. I've seen you in Brazil a few years ago, and it was amazing.
Yeah. We're supposed to go. We're supposed to be going to South America here before the year's up, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And what can the fans expect of the new live show? Any unusual choices in the set list? And you have a lot to draw from, right?
Man, really, what they can expect is it to continuously change. Really, we were in a situation where there's so many songs to choose from that we've really decided to continue just doing the same songs all the time. Even though we are supporting an album, I mean, the idea of just doing the same songs all the time is not very pleasing. We want to keep mixing it up, man. We want to keep adding songs, changing songs, taking away songs, just to keep it fresh, man. I mean, we'll be touring for the next 2 years at least for this album. So it's really just about also making ourselves happy as well as the fans.
All right. And let's close off with a message for the fans who want to see you guys on the road very soon.
Man, one thing I can say is just, come in, ready to be knocked over, man, because we're going to do everything in our power to just blow people's minds, man.
That's good to hear. I'm looking forward for that tour, man.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, so all the best to you in the new tour that starts next Monday, and hope to see you guys on the road very soon.
Cheers. Thanks for the interview, man. I hope to talk to you soon.
Thanks. Take care, man.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye, bro.
Okay, guys, thank you for listening. That was Steve Tucker from Morbid Angel. They are embarking on a tour through North America very soon to promote their new album, Kingdoms Disdained. Please follow us on Twitter and Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to our podcast for the latest news of all things prog, metal, and rock and roll.